Part 44. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 431. The people who were waiting silently in the isolation room looked longingly in the direction of the door and shrank their necks, with expressions of curiosity and apprehension on their faces, and then they couldn't help but started whispering. Hiss! The heart-rending cry of the fish's tail is so breathtaking. Pig ears, do you think the fishtail disease can be cured? I told you not to call me pig ears. If I hadn't been afraid that I would lose my human ears after cutting off these pig ears, I would have cut them off and drank them. Oh, pigtail, you pigtail, the wine might taste better. Monkey ear next door and I both like this, right monkey ear? Ha ha ha, yes, I have been interested in that pig's tail for a long time. It's all because of the diligent patrolling of that little guard outside, otherwise I would have escaped from prison and come to your room to cut off the pig's tail with the pig's ears. Come on, I'm still afraid of you, so I'll chop off your head to see if there are any monkey brains in it. What a coincidence, I love eating monkey brains the most. Ha 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 ha. Come on, let's see who can eat it first. The few people who were locked in the room were laughing and joking for their own fun. They were talking about eating pigtails and how fun it was to eat monkey brains. After a while, everyone who was still in a daze started to make noises. At this time, someone suddenly said, I think we may be saved today. I just talked to Xiao Wei, who was on duty outside. He said that the powerful wife of our Major General came here in person. The reason why the fishtail screamed so miserably was because he started to treat it. Is that the Muyuan Star Master who knows how to make meatballs? Is that the miracle doctor who made the vitality elixir that can treat Meridian's problems? Is he the man who made the repair pill that can repair the supernatural core? It's the fairy who saved me from the Mediterranean with a hair growth pill. That's no problem. She can make so many powerful pills. Our little problem with long tails and ears shouldn't be a problem for her. Yes, we just have a little more growth and not a lack of anything. It will definitely be cured. If the Major General hadn't stopped me, I might have cut off my scorpion tail myself, and waited for the wound to heal. It's ready. Yes, we will definitely be fine with the Major General's wife here. Let's take a photo first and take it back to show my wife when I'm better. She likes to pinch the furry ears of small animals. If she knew I had you will definitely love me more if you have a couple. That's right. You have to take some photos of the rare experience of having a long tail. Otherwise, you won't be able to find this store after passing through this village. Xiao Wei, who was on duty outside, looked at the old men posing in the room to take photos one by one. If the selfies were not enough, they had to pose for others to take the photos. He was immediately in awe. He was indeed in a confidential position. The seniors who have such a good attitude and courage are so happy that they comfort themselves. Then he couldn't stop looking in the direction of the operating room, with curiosity on his face. Why did Captain Lin's roar suddenly stop? Cured or put to death? Operating room. The two patients rushed to the bedside eagerly, looking eagerly at the pale companion with his eyes closed on the bed. They stretched out their hands to test his breathing, and then shouted excitedly, he's still breathing, he's still alive, he's still alive. Then they looked at Bai Qianshan eagerly and asked with excitement in their tone, Major General's wife, has his condition been cured? Bai Qianshan showed a faint smile, well, okay, he has a strong will to survive. He got through it. I also removed the orc genes in his body. There is no need to touch the mermaid tail. I'll wait. It will slowly transform back into his legs, but he has to pay attention to nutritional supplements in the past few days, and the transformation requires the consumption of body energy. Hearing this, everyone in the room felt relieved and their faces showed joy. Feng Yuyu turned to look at Yao Wengxian and ordered, The fruits and vegetables purchased from Wu Yuwingxing will be sent to this villa first for them to eat. The company will wait for a while, and then talk to Wu Yuwingxing make an additional batch. Bai Jianchun was listening and couldn't comment on his arrangement. Mu Yuanxing had dedicated people to manage the supply chain of fruits and vegetables. A reliable team had been established this year. As a star, it's not easy for the Lord to interfere too much. After Feng Yuyu arranged things one by one and confirmed that no patients in the villa were missed, Bai Jianchun looked at the other two patients in the room. Which of you is coming next? The two patients looked at her hesitantly with excited faces. Feng Yuyu followed closely and looked at Bai Jianchun with worried eyes. Why don't you take a rest? You just spent a lot of power and energy, and his face doesn't look good. Bai Jianchun took out a pill from Spacenry and swallowed it, then smiled at him and said, No, don't waste time. I'm going to report to the military academy in 3 days. I can't control the things here. We need to cure them as soon as possible. By the way, how many patients are there in total here? Feng Yuyu saw that her face gradually returned to rosy after taking the pills, and the worry on her face disappeared. Then she got down to business. There are 78 in total, and there are still 77 left. Oh, that's a lot of people. Bai Jianchun frowned, and then directed the robot to take the people on the bed back to be settled, while taking out a tube of attractant and handing it to Zhuangshu, who was eager to help, and asked him to come over. Hello. Then while waiting for the medicine to take effect, she asked Feng Yuyu, do you know what happened in the central area of the first military academy examination room? Feng Yuyu paused for a moment, then nodded with focused eyes. I know, the first military academy is making big moves. I have already received the news. Many deformed orc corpses were found in the underground laboratory. Do you want to say that it is behind the scenes in that underground laboratory? The Lord's messenger is the murderer who caused the changes in these people in my legion. Bai Jianchun glanced at him appreciatively. 9 times out of 10, that's it. It might be the minions of the Orc Empire. I avoided the people from the first military academy and brought out a syringe from the underground laboratory. That should be. I analyzed and studied the results of the research in the underground laboratory last night. It is a red silk cell with orc genes inserted into it. It can transform the human body, allowing normal people to adopt orc genes and grow orc characteristics, forcing them to become similar to a hybrid existence. The hierarchy in the Orc Empire is very clear. Purebred high-blooded orcs are naturally suppressive to lower-blooded or hybrids. In particular, the royal family of the Orc Empire, the Fox clan, has the ability to control low-level orcs. The eyes of Feng Yuyu and Yao Wengxian, who were listening silently next to them, jumped. They were both smart people and they immediately understood what Bai Jianchun meant by what he said. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 432. The two looked at each other, and both saw shock and solemnity in each other's eyes. Unexpectedly, the Orc Empire, in addition to being strong and brutal, also has such a brain. If their guess is true, then in the next battle between the Orc Empire and the Huayao Empire, the Orc Empire's wolf ambition is very likely to succeed. After all, if without Bai Jianchun, a sudden rise of medical genius, it would be difficult for them to discover the existence of red silk cells. Even if they take away the underground laboratory in the central area of the first military academy examination room, it would be difficult for them to notice the real intention of the Orc Empire. Feng Yuyu frowned, with obvious irritation on his face, and made the same decision as Bai Jianchun before. I need to report this matter. The underground laboratory has been exposed, and the Orc Empire has probably received the news. By then, the border between the Huayao Empire and the Orc Empire may not be peaceful for long. The army must speed up its internal self-examination. Once the matter is reported, I'm afraid the Legion won't be able to hide it anymore, and you will be the main discoverer then. About to be exposed. Bai Qianchun raised her lips and raised a dazzling smile on her face. It doesn't matter if you expose me, this matter concerns the entire Huayao Empire. This way, I will be registered with it, and I will have another layer of protection. Maybe I can gain some military merit and earn some reputation, allowing me to take over the 9th Legion as soon as possible. Since Bai Qianchun found out about this, she realized that this might not be a bad thing for her, but a good thing. As the discoverer of the Orc Empire's conspiracy and having mastered the methods of treatment, she is undoubtedly very important to the Huayao Empire. Even though there are many forces in the Huayao Empire now, and there are still contradictions competing for power, but once it comes to the Orc Empire, they will be unanimously xenophobic no matter how unhappy they are. Then she, the person who restrains the Orc Empire's conspiracy, will become an important presence in the Huayao Empire. If those high-ranking officials in the Huayao Empire were more conscientious, they might help her deal with Bai Zhuangquan. But this is just a first thought. The situation is still unclear. Various forces are involved. Not everyone puts the interests of the Huayao Empire above their own interests. Bai Zhuangquan is always a hidden danger. No one can guarantee that if he jumps over the wall in a hurry, no, she won't capsize in the gutter, so it's better to be cautious. So Bai Qianchun added to Feng Yuyu, put all the discoveries on the head of Muyuan Star Master. Even if my identity is exposed, I still have to keep my vest in the first military academy. Bai Zhuangquan has not yet completely conquered the 9th Legion, and is not considered a high-level important figure. Even if my identity cannot be kept secret, he cannot receive news on his own, so he can help me hide it from Bai Zhuangquan alone. If anyone revealing my identity to Bai Zhuangquan is going against me, Mu Yuan Xing, and the pills produced by Mu Yuan Xing will not be supplied to him, his family or even his relatives in the future. Then she looked at Feng Yuyu again and said, "Help me supervise." Feng Yuyu accepted it with a smile and was very excited about receiving this job. What did this mean? It meant that she trusted him. He solemnly stated that once her identity was known to Bai Zhuangquan, he would investigate the source of the information thoroughly and would not let anyone go. Yao Wengxian was amazed when he heard this. As expected of a couple, their methods were quick and precise, leaving no opportunity for the enemy to take advantage of. Once Bai Qianchun's words spread, it would be the end for Bai Zhuangquan. Everyone must know the importance of Muyuanxing pills. If anyone is included in the blacklist, he will definitely fall behind others. In addition, if the conspiracy of the Orc Empire is confirmed, Bai Qianchun's status in the empire will be unshakable. Who dares to touch her, a great hero? By then, even if Bai Zhuangquan's stomach is full of twists and turns, his ideas will change many times. In front of her, she is like a mantis. How can the light of rice grains compete with the bright moon? After agreeing to Bai Qianchun, Feng Yuyu left the villa without delay, leaving Yao Wengxian behind. Bai Qianchun made the decision for everything in the villa. Bai Qianchun stayed in this villa for 3 days, and it was not until the afternoon of the 3rd day that all 78 people were treated. She walked out of the operating room and met Yao Wengxian, who was waiting outside. She raised her eyebrows and asked, "How is it? Is there any news from Feng Yuyu?" Yao Wengxian frowned and shook his head, "Not yet. I learned through special channels that the superiors are still wrangling and need to prove the dangers of red silk cells. There are also forces from the 4th Prince and the 5th Prince who are holding back, accusing Yuyu of sensationalism. It will take some time for the matter to be finalized, at least until the Research Institute confirms the medicinal efficacy of the items collected from the basement of the 1st Military Academy examination room. And once this is confirmed, Yuyu and your achievements will surely rise. At the end of the day, they are unwilling to give credit to Yuyu so easily." Bai Qianchun sighed. She knew that not everyone put the interests of the empire first. Even if their hearts were with the Huayao Empire, it did not prevent them from stepping on their opponents. Then she focused on the Research Institute,
with a bit of surprise in her tone, "It's been 3 days and the research institute hasn't figured out the reason yet." Yao Wengxian pulled his lips and gave her a strange look. "Not everyone is as smart as you, sister-in-law, and can see through the function of this thing at a glance." Bai Qianchun corrected him, "It wasn't just a glance, it was about 5 or 6 hours a night. I spent a little more time doing experiments on mice." Yao Wengxian laughed and said, "It's not much different. Compared with the people at the institute, sister-in-law, you are a god. They are all idiots with stupid brains." Bai Qianchun glanced at him. The young man was weird at flattering him. Knowing that Feng Yuyu would not be back today, Bai Qianchun put on a fake face the next morning and drove to the first military academy to report. The gate of the first military academy. Today's freshman report showed that the door was extremely lively, not only the freshmen coming in, but also the parents seeing them off and the seniors squatting at the door to watch the excitement. Bai Qianchun comforted her and sent a message to ask if it was Feng Tanggui who was ranked number 1. After receiving her understanding and cooperation, she felt relieved. "Boss, here. Sister Chun, we are here." Bai Qianchun looked up when he heard the sound. Su Kan, Di Yan, Quan Lang, Ya Yang, Leng Xiao and Zhu Bao got mixed up together at some point. They were standing at the school gate, waving warmly to greet the guests. When they saw her, they all smiled like sunflowers. There are 2 contrasting and very quiet people beside them. One is Qin Xiao, who followed Bai Qianchun in the martial arts exam, and the other is Sheng Biu, who ranks first in the literary exam. She understands that Qin Xiao is here. She got along well with Ya Yang during the martial arts exams and they both became brothers, but why is Sheng Biu here? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luziy. Chapter 433. Noticing Bai Qianchun's gaze, Sheng Biu's distracted eyes slowly came back to focus. He slowly looked back at her, nodded slightly, then stared in one direction and let his thoughts go in a daze. Bai Qianchun. She quickened her pace and walked over to join a few people. "Boss, come on, let's go report quickly. I heard that the breakfast room we went to has a good allocation." Zhu Bao said to Bai Qianchun with a smile on his face, and then hurriedly urged them to go to the military academy. "Is that so? Why haven't I heard of it?" Quan Lang, a fan of the first military academy, looked confused. He really didn't understand why he didn't know everything about the first military academy but was also a person who had heard all kinds of gossip. No one knew this unspoken rule, but Zhu Bao, a poor man from the Chaos Star, knew it. Zhu Bao smiled with a mischievous look on his face. "I met a senior Bagwatong. He usually likes to study all kinds of data. Which teacher's course has the highest pass rate of students? Which one is in the cafeteria of the first military academy? He has done data analysis on the dish that is the most popular and sold. No, a few days ago he was studying the dormitory allocation reported by the freshmen of the first military academy. According to his data analysis and calculation, the freshmen who reported earlier the dormitories assigned are usually better, and only a few unlucky ones will be assigned to second-class dormitories." Ya Yang's eyes lit up. "Okay, brother, it hasn't been long since you came to the main star. You have made such useful friends so quickly." Zhu Bao smiled shyly. "No, I just like to make friends a little more than the average person." Quan Lang's mouth twitched when he heard this. He did like to make friends more than the average person, but he also threw away friends faster than the average person. In the past 3 days, he has made up a lot of videos of the martial arts test after he went back. This Zhu Bao is quite popular, and fans have specially cut a lot of videos for him. The title of the video is "Zhu Bao plays with people's hearts and kills, 2 kills, 3 kills."
The content of the video is all about Zhu Bao playing with the captains of each team without touching a leaf among the flowers. In short, after watching the videos, Quan Lang was completely unable to connect Zhu Bao in these videos with Zhu Bao, the sycophant player who acted with their team during the martial arts exam and flattered their captain from time to time. If it weren't for the fact that there was only one named Zhu Bao among all the candidates, he would have suspected that they were two twin brothers with the same name and the same surname who lived in a foreign land. Bai Qianchun and others had no objections to Zhu Bao's proposal. They would rather believe it or not. They were all going to report anyway, so they could just go faster. The reporting place was in a spacious reception hall not far from the school entrance. It was just a few steps away. There were already many new students in the hall. There are two robots in front of the service desk and a male and a female senior who look particularly gentle. The reporting team moved very quickly, and it wasn't long before it was their turn. "Sister, we are here to report. Can we choose the dormitory by ourselves?" Zhu Bao, who was at the front of the queue, put his hands on the service desk, with a pleasant smile on his face, looking longingly at the gentle and beautiful girl in front of him. "Senior sister," the pretty senior said to him with a gentle smile, "No, junior fellow, but senior Bai behind you can." As the chief freshman, Senior Bai can choose the 3 best accommodations prepared by the school. Bai Qianchun had a surprised expression on her face when she was pointed out, and then Zhu Bao, who was envious, gave up her position and asked her to report first. Bai Qianchun walked to the service desk, calmed down the emotions on her face, politely said hello to her senior sister, and then asked her about her dormitory situation. The beautiful senior sister looked at her with bright eyes and introduced her with a gentle and patient voice. "The accommodation area of our first military academy is divided into 3 areas. Area 1, Area 2, and Area 3 are both accommodation areas. School teachers live in Area number 2, Area 2 is the girls' dormitory, and Area 3 is the boys' dormitory. The dormitories are divided into 2-person, 3-person, 4-person, and 5-person rooms. All students are randomly assigned dormitories, and students from upper and lower grades live in a mixed environment. However, the top 3 students with the highest scores after each final exam for senior students will have the opportunity to switch to dormitories. For freshmen, only the chief freshman has the right to choose. Other freshmen do not have this benefit and can only be randomly assigned. Zhu Bao and the others were itching to hear this. From this rule, we can see that the first military academy attaches great importance to performance and strength. If you do poorly in the exam, you will have to obey the arrangements and not even have a choice. Swame Bai, you have 3 best 2-room dormitories to choose from. The first one is room 301 on the 3rd floor of Building 1 in District 2. The second one is room 405 on the 4th floor in Building 1. This is Building 1 in District 2. It was just renovated some time ago and no one has lived in it yet. It is a new building reopened this year. These 2 rooms are the best in Building number 1. One of the 2 rooms faces the Balian Lake of the Military Academy. It belongs to the new building. The lake view room and the other facing the sea garden have a beautiful view of the garden. Bai Qianchun's eyes showed interest, but she did not decide directly. Instead, she asked again, "What about the 3rd place?" The senior laughed and said, "There is a 3rd place in Building 8 near Area 1. This building is also on the same border as Area 3 of the boys' dormitory. However, it was originally a boys' dormitory. Later, when the number of female students increased, it was divided into Area 2 and used as a girls' dormitory. The school arranged for Swame Bai to live in dormitory number 501 on the 5th floor of the top floor of Building 8. This is the only single dormitory in the student dormitory, and the room is very large, occupying half a floor. Speaking of which, no students have lived in this dormitory for 2 years, and the last person to stay was the famous senior Feng Yuyu in our military academy." Feng Yuyu Bai Qianchun was shocked. "I didn't expect such a coincidence. Why do you say no one has lived here for 2 years? Bai Jianchun asked suspiciously. The beautiful senior sister seemed to be very interested in this matter, and she slowly told her with a desire to share. Senior Feng made a great contribution to the military academy. He didn't ask for any of the rewards given by the school. He only proposed one on condition that his roommate get out of his dormitory. He wants to live alone. After his roommate got out, Senior Feng made a major renovation of the dormitory. The beds, furnishings and furniture were all the best and most expensive. We also separated 2 rooms to create a study and game room. Many people are interested in Senior Feng's dormitory. Of course, another charm of this dormitory is that Senior Feng lived there. This dormitory was vacated after Senior Feng graduated early. For this reason, several people who were in the top 3 in the exam wanted to change dormitories. The senior students who were crazy about Senior Feng were all rushing to live in this room. For this reason, they even staged a life and death fight at the door of the dormitory building. Because it was so bad, one senior student almost died at that time. It was serious enough to directly attract the attention of the principal. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lan Shan Lu Zy. Chapter 434. The principal is a narrow-minded person. After punishing several senior students, he directly invited Senior Feng to appoint the next resident. He also asked several senior students who wanted to move in to write an application report hoping to move in. As a result, Senior Feng's face turned dark after reading their application reports. He angrily accused them of being toads who wanted to eat swans, and sternly expressed that he did not want these women to defile his dormitory. For this reason, Senior Feng also invested 100 million in the first military academy to purchase a new dormitory. Equipment. The principal agreed with a smile upon hearing this, and also retained Senior Feng's right to use this dormitory. The right to use this dormitory will not be returned to the school until he graduates according to the normal graduation time. No, according to the normal time, Senior Feng would have graduated last year, so this dormitory can be used by students this year. The beautiful senior sister blinked at Bai Jianchun, with a sly look in her eyes. I guess the principal wanted to get away with nothing and deliberately asked Senior Feng to come back and designate the next resident. Reserving the right to use the dormitory for 2 years is obviously not good for Feng. Senior Feng is of no use. Senior Feng has graduated long ago and is unlikely to come back to live there. Moreover, this building was divided into the second area of the girls' dormitory 2 years ago. Even if Senior Feng wanted to live there, he would not be able to live there. This building has already. How could he, a man, have the nerve to come in when there are so many women? If you ask me to say that the principal is the worst thief. Bai Jianchun nodded, convinced that the principal was indeed a thief. For example, in the previous martial arts test, the source of points was changed and could be exchanged for ferocious beast meat and medicinal herbs. In fact, it was to attract the attention of those in the underground laboratory in the central area. Later, the reward of 10,000 points was given out, making false claims in order to sneak in. The team in the underground laboratory creates opportunities, isn't it cunning? Senior Bai, which dormitory do you want to choose? Bai Jianchun said without hesitation, the third one. The beautiful senior sister had a clear look on her face. Senior sister, you also like Senior Feng, but it's a pity that Senior Feng is already married, and his partner is the Muyuan Star Lord. Otherwise, no matter how bad-tempered Senior Feng is, or how venomous his tongue is, you'll just point at his face. I can too. The senior next to me is reporting for Zubao. Senior, you seem to have exposed something. Bai Jianchun, I'm not. I came here for the greatness of space. The senior looked at her with a smile, and didn't say whether she believed it or not, but looking at her mysterious smile, it was obvious that she didn't believe it. Bai Jianchun remained silent, pretending not to understand. The two parties didn't say much after that.
After the senior sister helped her complete the reporting and accommodation procedures, she asked her to find the dormitory by herself according to the campus navigation on the official website. Outside the reception hall, several people completed the reporting procedures and came out one after another. As soon as Zhu Bao came out, he said that he had been assigned a double room, and then asked everyone how many people were assigned to the room. Generally, double-room dormitories are the best and have a lot of space. Ya Yang responded positively, I am also in a double room, Qin Xiao is also in a double room, and we are in the same dormitory as Erbiang. Su Kan, Di Yan, and Quan Lang also said that they were assigned to double rooms. Where is Sheng Biu? Sheng Biu slowly checked the dormitory information, his tone was a little slow, I also have a double dormitory. So everyone was happy, and Zhu Bao happily said that he would tell his friend the good news that his data was correct. Then a group of people came to the accommodation area chatting and laughing. Area 2 of the girls' dormitory and Area 3 of the boys' dormitory were very close to each other. There was only a green belt separating them. They were not too far away and could even be crossed back and forth. So it's totally fine for everyone to go together to find a dormitory. Baikan Chun's building number 8 was at the innermost location. After everyone else entered their assigned dormitories, she slowly walked to building number 8, the last building in District 2. Shengafi, don't pretend to cry for me. You cry without even touching you. Are you made of water? Are you afraid that your tears will dry up and your body will be dehydrated? You can't keep that charming face that you are so proud of. In the corridor on the 5th floor, a mocking female voice came. There were many girls gathered around to watch the show. Bai Qianchun raised her eyebrows. The voice sounded familiar to her. She stepped onto the last staircase and walked towards the aisle where people were gathered in front. She looked through the gap and saw the center of the crowd with their hands on their chests. The person with the mocking face was indeed Lin Guiyan. Lin Guiyan happened to see her through the crowd, and a sincere smile suddenly appeared on her mocking face. Oh, second place, no, now it's time to call you first place. You also live on this floor for first place. The girls surrounding them immediately dispersed to both sides, looking curiously at Bai Qianchun one by one, muttering in their mouths. The first place is Bai Qianchun, who came first in the martial arts exam. Why is she here? You don't understand this? The freshman chief has the right to choose the dormitory. Among the currently vacant dormitories, the one in building 1 is the best, and there is also dormitory 501 on our floor. This year, Senior Feng has the right to choose the dormitory. The right to use a dormitory has expired, and many senior students are eyeing this dormitory, and now it seems that the freshman chief has taken advantage of it. Haha, it's a good show. Ji Xiao from the 5th year Mecha Manufacturing Department and Xin Feek, the 3rd year number 1 goddess, both announced that they wanted this dormitory. Unexpectedly, the chief freshman took the lead. Those two seniors and other less high-profile seniors are not easy to mess with. I heard that senior sister Ji Xiao was a friend who grew up with Senior Feng. She has a very close relationship with Senior Feng. Senior Feng shouldn't object to her coming to live in this dormitory. The first goddess is no longer Xin Fei. She was able to take the position of the first goddess of our military academy with her translucent and glowing flawless skin. But now with the whitening pills, many girls' skin has improved, especially the second graders. After Tan Dongling's skin became fairer and better, she became more beautiful than Xin Fei. Some people say that this year's number 1 goddess throne must be Tan Dongling. Oh, no matter what, Xin Fei's appearance is there. Regardless of whether she is the first goddess or not, she has many admirers under her pomegranate skirt. When the time comes, just those admirers will stand up for Xin Fei, and this new student will suffer. That's it? Tisk, you can't say that. This freshman chief is not someone to be trifled with. You have seen the live broadcast of the martial arts exam.
She can kill a B-level beast with 1 strike and an A-level beast with 2 strikes. S-level and SS-level ones are also within reach, so it's not certain who will suffer when the time comes. But she is only a freshman after all. High force value is not a panacea. There are many ways for seniors to make things difficult for juniors. Although the senior students had already kept their voices very low, the aisle was so big and the distance was so small, Bai Qianchun and Lin Guiyan could hear clearly. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lan Shan Lu Zy. Chapter 435. Lin Guiyan snorted, and ignored Shen Gafei, who was still covering her face and sobbing. She walked towards Bai Qianchun, smiled brightly at her, and joked, "It seems that you have picked up some trouble, ah." Bai Qianchun's pink lips slightly curved on her cold face. "I heard that the first military academy specially set up a competition arena in order to encourage students to strive for the top. If those seniors want to teach me how to do things, I won't. Do you mind accepting their advice, or I can teach them how to behave?" After Lin Guiyan was stunned for a moment, the smile on her face became even bigger, and she raised a thumbs up and winked at her. "Okay, really bad, worthy of being the first, this move is so neat." Then she sighed with envy, "It's easier to deal with your hard knife. My soft knife is too annoying. How about I take her to the competition ring to compete?" Bai Qianchun followed her gaze and looked at the crying Shen Gafei, raising her eyebrows slightly. "Why is she still pestering you? Hasn't the man been taken away?" Lin Guiyan was choked by her straightforward words, then she suppressed her smile and showed irritation on her face. "Who knows what happened to this little bitch? I wish them forever, but she still comes to me every day to check her presence. I'm so worried that I don't remember that she is a scheming mistress. If I hadn't been a civilized person, I would have punched her away." Suddenly a female voice appeared in the air next to her. I know, this is called showing off and sowing discord." She felt guilty and scared after stealing someone else's man, so she had to go to her old love from time to time to show off her presence and show off her affection. "If it would be better if you hit her, then she can pretend to be a victim and slander you in front of the man, making him hate you, thereby reducing the possibility of your old relationship rekindling." Green tea, the scheming mistress's favorite trick. Shen Gafei burst into tears when he heard these words. Lin Guiyan seemed to be aware of it, and moved her eyes to the beautiful girl who spoke with interest. "How do you know this?" Fen Tanggui, who was wearing a short skirt and dressed exquisitely, walked in from the crowd with the corners of her mouth raised and grinning. "I've read a lot of romance novels recently. I heard that the military academy is the fermentation ground for love. It's hard to avoid being picked up by scumbags. I got it, so I made up my homework specially. I read this trick in a book called The Plot of Female Aquaman. I didn't expect to see the live version on the first day of school. The female classmate, what's your name? I think her acting skills are really good, and she really cries. Is she from the acting department?" Bai Qianchun looked at Fen Tanggui staring at Shen Gafei with interest, with a smile in her eyes. "The first military academy does not have a performance department." Fen Tanggui turned to look at her, winked at her and smiled. "Oh, is that so? Sister Chun knows more, and I don't even have time to understand this." Lin Guiyan glanced at the two of them with suspicion on her face. "You two know each other?" Fen Tanggui smiled and nodded directly. "Yes, Sister Chun and my sister-in-law are good friends. We met on Wuyuan planet. My sister-in-law even praised Sister Chun's pharmaceutical talent as not inferior to hers at all." Lin Guiyan's eyes were filled with surprise. As a member of the Lin family, she naturally knew who Fen Tanggui was, so it was self-evident who Fen Tanggui's sister-in-law was. She turned to look at Bai Qianchun. "I remember you applied for the command department. Since you are so talented in medicine, why not go to the medical department?" Bai Qianchun didn't say anything and Fen Tanggui answered instead, "You're stupid.
My sister-in-law's place on Wuyuan planet is now recognized as a medical paradise and an authority on pharmaceuticals. Since Sister Chun has already studied there, why do you want to go there? The first military academy is a lesser place to study medicine. Of course, you must study its superior majors when you come to the first military academy. Isn't the command department of the first military academy the cradle of commanders? It is the most authoritative major in the first military academy. Study this. Something is wrong. Lin Guiyan, that makes sense. She can't refute it. The female classmates around also nodded, student Feng is right. Then they stared at Bai Qianchun with burning eyes, and rubbed their hands in a flattering manner. Well, Bai Qianchun's pharmaceutical talent has been praised by Wuyuan's star master, so her level must be very high. Then Bai Qianchun will definitely do whitening pills and beauty pills. Seeing as we are all dormitory students in building 8 of the same building, can Bai Swimei sell some to us? Yes, yes, there are too many people rushing to buy it on Wuyuanxing's official website. Every time it is put on the shelves, it is sold out instantly. I have been practicing the mecha hand speed for 3 years and I can't beat anyone else. Me too. The last time I took the whitening pill was 8 months ago. It's about 4 months before it expires. I'm panicking. I haven't gotten the next whitening pill yet. Now I'm fine. I have it. Senior Bai, I have finally seen the light of day. Please, Senior Bai, please agree to me. This is the request of my life. Swimei Bai, I can make mecha weapons. Do you want to customize a mecha? I can ask the teacher to help. The reward does not need to be much. I just need 2 bottles of whitening pills and 2 bottles of beauty elixirs. The rest of the material fees and I'll cover the labor costs. Gan, you are too cunning. Senior Bai, don't choose her. The mecha I make is better. You can make a reservation with me, and you can pay with whitening pills and beauty elixirs. I can be a sparring partner. I can practice mecha with Senior Bai. I promise not to fight back or retaliate. I only need whitening pills and beauty pills to hire a professional sparring partner who can fight and endure. Senior Bai, do you really not think about it? I have notes from the command line. In the blink of an eye, the corridor of the dormitory on the 5th floor turned into a celebrity meeting venue. A group of young fans gathered around Bai Qianchun enthusiastically, looking like they wanted to tear out their hearts. Bai Qianchun and Feng Tang were frightened. Wei and Lin Guiyan backed away. Lin Guiyan opened the door of dormitory 502 and hid first. Seeing that the scene was uncontrollable, Bai Qianchun also took Feng Tanggui and hid in the 501 dormitory. Feng Tanggui wiped away the hot sweat that had been squeezed out, and patted her chest with lingering fear when hearing the voices outside. This is too enthusiastic. Then she looked at Bai Qianchun who had locked the door, and lowered her head in regret. I'm sorry, sister-in-law, I seem to have caused trouble for you. Bai Qianchun patted her shoulder and said, it's okay. It just happened to implement my knowledge of medicine. Don't take it to heart. Even without you, they will come to ask for help in the future. Seeing that Bai Qianchun didn't take this matter to heart, Feng Tanggui immediately became happy, ran over and hugged her arm, looked at her face with a smile and found no flaws. She flashed her bright big eyes were full of curiosity and she asked, sister-in-law, how did your face change? It's so natural and real. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lan Shan Lu Zy. Chapter 436. Bai Qianchun smiled and pulled her towards the dormitory. I used the Yirong Dan. It's like changing my face. It's not real or natural. Oh, Yirong Dan, this is a new medicine. Feng Tanggui's eyes were bright.
Her sister-in-law was indeed a great genius. Then she stopped thinking about Yu Rongdan and pulled Bai Jianchun inside, saying happily, "Sister-in-law, come and take a look at your dormitory. My cousin said he already guessed that you would choose this one. It's a dormitory, so this dormitory was specially renovated before. There were originally 3 rooms here. The style of the master bedroom was changed into a simple, elegant, and warm decoration that girls like. The bed sheets and quilt covers were all newly replaced. Sister-in-law, you can just sleep here tonight. Also, the game room and training room next door used to be. My cousin said that you must like the pharmacy more, so I merged the 2 rooms into one and transformed it into a pharmacy. Come over and have a look. If you are not satisfied with anything, my cousin also let me. I brought decoration materials here, and I can help you change it now." Seeing Fentane Gui roll up her sleeves to reveal her white and tender arms, as if she was about to work, Bai Jianchun was stunned. "Are you still interested in this?" Fentane Gui's smile froze slightly. Cat in tears JPG. How could she be interested in decorating it herself? She was deceived by her cousin. Some time ago, before the exam of the first military academy, she was happy that her sister-in-law was coming to the main star. She happened to catch up with her cousin, who was also at home, and the two started chatting. She counted a lot of good things about her sister-in-law, and it turned out that her cousin, the abominable devil, actually took the opportunity to seduce her and said, "Since your sister-in-law is so kind to you, should you also be kind to her and repay her?" Fentane Gui nodded stupidly without thinking, and then her tragedy happened. Fen Yuyu's big pig hooves actually threw her directly to the decoration team of Fen Group for half a month of special training. The purpose was just in case Bai Jianchun was not satisfied with the renovated dormitory, the decoration team would not. If it's easy to get in, then she can get on top of it. Fentane Gui, ouch, wife control is so terrible. Bai Jianchun understood it as soon as he saw her sad and angry expression. It was funny and her heart was filled with warmth. She has always made arrangements for others. Whether it was Zi Wutong in the previous life or Mu Yuanxing in this life, she stood behind everyone and acted as the backer of everyone, helping others arrange things properly. Now Fen Yuyu is standing behind her, helping her arrange things properly, and at this moment, she is really warmed up. Baikan Chunjin's layout was no different from that on Wuyuan planet. Even the medicinal materials placed in each medicinal cabinet were exactly the same. Except for the smaller space, the pharmacy turned around, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, and looked at her with eyes crossed. Fentane Gui, who looked eager to try it out, said, "No need to change, I'm very satisfied." The smile on Fentane Gui's face immediately fell. Ah, wasn't her half-month of suffering in vain? She hugged the door frame unwillingly and looked at Bai Jianchun with longing eyes. "Well, if anything is broken in the future, I can repair it." "Okay, I will definitely call you for help in the future." Fentane Gui immediately became happy again. "Hey, sister-in-law, I'll leave first." The group of people outside should have dispersed. "Sister-in-law, you clean up in the dormitory and rest. I live in the 503 dormitory next door. If you need anything, just call me on the communication line and I'll be there at your call." Bai Jianchun waved her hand at her. "Funny, I understand, you should go back and clean up quickly. There will be class in the afternoon and there is no time to clean up." Finally, he stuffed her with a few bottles of strawberry jam and blueberry jam and asked her to dip some bread into it. This girl had been talking about jam for a long time. Fentane Gui's eyes suddenly lit up. She happily hugged jam and went to the 503 dormitory. However, when she saw her roommate, her brows couldn't help but wrinkled. "Oh, this is not the pear blossom belt who was crying just now. Use green tea, mistress. It's over. This girl is definitely not a trouble-free roommate. It's impossible to live with her until graduation. It seems that she has to work harder to get into the top 3 and try to change dormitories.
2 hours later, at noon, Bai Qianshun, Feng Tanggui, and Lin Guiyan, who enthusiastically came over to join them, went to the first canteen of the first military academy for dinner. The food was not as delicious as it was delicious, and could only be described as makeshift. This made Bai Qianshun, who had never been wronged by his tongue since he went to Muiyuan planet as the Star Master, frowned. However, the food in the cafeteria was not allowed to go to waste. Credits also include broadcast criticism. Bai Qianshun had a sullen face and could only grit her teeth and finish the meal tastelessly. After eating, Feng Tanggui held a piece of jam bread in her mouth to taste, while holding the light brain in her hand and whining. "Ah, if I had known better, I would have read more of the internal forums of the first military academy. The first meal for freshmen in the first cafeteria is the freshman's ghost. It is famous for its unpalatable food. Many freshmen have been cheated, but this one is. The slogan is to let students experience the hard life of marching and fighting in advance, which makes people unable to complain. Ha ha ha, besides us, many seniors and seniors have been tricked before. Oh, they are good or bad. They deliberately didn't say anything. They even blocked this forum before, saying it was a welcome ceremony for new students. Oh, besides us, there are many freshmen who have also suffered. They are still crying on this forum. That's right. When we came just now, the first cafeteria was mostly full, and there were also many ignorant freshmen who fell into the trap. So Feng Tanggui finished the play by herself, and Bai Qianshun and Lin Guiyan also understood why the food in the number 1 cafeteria was so bland and unpalatable. The three of them carried the empty plates and placed them in the recycling area before exiting the first canteen. Lin Guiyan asked, "I am from the mecha manufacturing department. The class notice said that we will meet at the education building number 1 in half an hour. How about you?" Feng Tanggui raised his hand, "I'm also in the mecha manufacturing department. I'm in the same class as you." Bai Qianshun raised her eyebrows, "I'm from the command department. The teacher told me to go directly to the computer room. In the first class, we will enter the Star Network for a simulated battle to feel our skills." His which teacher is so perverted that he starts simulating combat right from the start. Teacher Suke. Oh, it's okay then. Lin Guiyan and Feng Tanggui both showed clear expressions. The reputation of General Suke is well known to them. Back then, he was able to train the new recruits who had just joined the Legion to cry for their fathers and mothers, and even nearly broke their arms and legs and were discharged from the army. Now, in the first class, students are allowed to enter the Star Network to conduct simulated battle calculations. Everything is trivial. Compared with the actual dangerous training of the new recruits, the simulated battles on the Star Network can be said to be particularly benevolent. But didn't he say he was going to teach graduates with 5 years of experience? How come he's in the first grade? Who knows, maybe he has spotted a good prospect and is delighted to see him, so he wants to start training himself. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luziy. Chapter 437. After saying goodbye to Lin Guiyan and Feng Tanggui, Bai Qianshun walked slowly towards the computer room alone. Speaking of the computer room, it is a lecture theater like an exhibition hall that can accommodate thousands of people. There are transparent sliding cover high-tech Star Network cabins placed vertically around the classroom. In the middle of the classroom, there are rows of white computers arranged in an orderly manner. Tables and chairs. At this time, many people had gathered in the center of the classroom. It was so crowded that almost half of the seats were filled. Quan Lang looked around, restless, scratched his head and looked a little silly. This situation seems a bit wrong. Didn't you say that we only recruited people from the mecha department and the command department? Even if we have all the freshmen combined, they are only 500s, looking at the number of people here, it must be over 1,000. Meng Xiu, who was sitting in the front, turned around.
He was wearing a pink shirt and a white casual suit. He blew his curly bangs and the slut winked at them with his charming peach blossom eyes. You don't know this, right? This is not just our freshmen's mecha department and command department, but also the mecha department and command department of sophomores, juniors, seniors, and fifth years. Leng Xiao, who was beside Quan Lang, glanced over lightly. Why are you here? Meng Xiu was charming and seductive. His face with flying eyebrows suddenly fell down. He exaggeratedly covered his chest and looked at him resentfully. No, Bing, we have all slept in the same bed, and you didn't know until we entered a military academy, and you don't care about me so much. Quan Lang turned his head and looked over suspiciously. Cake. The veins on Leng Xiao's forehead jumped sharply, and he glared at Meng Xiu with a cold eye, and said in a cold voice, "Speak humanly." Hua Jie, who was beside Meng Xiu, also turned around and patted his good brother on the shoulder, admonishing him, "Don't be wild." Meng Xiu curled his lips and then got serious. Didn't I say on Wuyuan planet that I dropped out of the 8th military academy and wanted to take the 1st military academy exam? Why don't I come over this year and give it a try? I didn't expect to take the exam all at once. Went in so smoothly. I failed the literary test before, and everything went wrong at the beginning of the martial arts test. I didn't meet an acquaintance, but it was very difficult. I worked hard to kill a B-level beast and earn dozens of points. Then I thought that in the end I definitely couldn't pass the remaining 2 days with my points, so I just gave up. In the last 3 days, I spent the last 3 days squatting in a corner and waiting for the martial arts exam to end. Who would have thought that those people could curl up like that in the last 3 days? It's amazing. The money is bulging, the money is flowing, the unlucky ones are stripped of their underpants, but I am just lucky enough to be admitted. I don't even believe it myself. I have so few points and am still ranked 368th. Meng Xiu felt great when he said this. He had never felt that he was so promising. After sending the message back to Tuyuan Star, his father was very excited and even sent him 888,888 star coins as a reward. Leng Xiao's expression did not change after hearing this. She looked at him with a pair of cold and sharp eyes and continued to ask, "What's going on in this class?" Meng Xiu clicked his tongue, and the smile crawled back to his face. "This class, isn't it just about touching our bottoms as mentioned in the notice, but it's not just the bottoms of our freshmen, but also all the command and control departments of the entire 1st Military Academy. The bottom of the Mecha Combat Department students. Those who are capable work hard. I heard that our principal directly taught all the students from the Command Department and Mecha Combat Department of the 1st Military Academy to General Suke, and he taught us the course of Battlefield Application Strategy. Suke entered because of his limited time. He wanted to combine students from all grades in the Mecha Command Department and Mecha Combat Department to take classes together. After reporting this matter, the principal agreed not long after, so it is what it is now. There are many students in the Mecha Combat Department in our military academy. Our current classroom alone can't accommodate them. The 2 large classrooms next door are also used. There are 2, 3, 4, and 5 Mecha students. I'm a student. Oh, now Quan Lang and Leng Xiao felt confident. But then came the disappointment. They freshmen had never cooperated even once. How could they compare with the seniors who had played countless StarNet simulation battles? Are they sure they weren't here to see their freshmen make a fool of themselves? Bai Qian-chun walked to the classroom half an hour early. She must have arrived early, but she didn't expect that other students were earlier than her. When she arrived, the 2 large classrooms next door were already mostly full. The designated classroom she wanted was already full, with only a few scattered seats left. Do all students take papers like this now? Why are everyone here so early? With suspicion in her heart, Bai Qian-chun walked into the noisy classroom from the classroom door in a low-key manner. After that,
Her eyes began to scan the entire classroom, trying to see if there were any acquaintances. "Boss, here, we've got a seat for you." When Quan Lang saw Bai Jianchun, he couldn't help raising his voice and waving his hands. He was a little scared of the mock battle with the senior students. He only felt safe when the boss was around. Unexpectedly, with his voice, the air in the classroom fell silent, the noisy voice disappeared, and pairs of eyes looked at Bai Jianchun, who was halfway across the hall. "Bai Jianchun, I don't really want to be passive and high profile." She pursed her lips and remained silent, completely ignoring those who were looking at her and whispering. She quickened her pace and walked towards Leng Xiao. After finally sitting down next to Leng Xiao, the eyes of those staring at her slowly spread. Meng Xiu smiled charmingly at her with a pair of electric eyes and said enthusiastically, "Hello, classmate Bai. I've known you for a long time. It's better to hear about it than to see it. You are even more beautiful in person than on the live video." Bai Jianchun looked at him with cold eyes, pretending not to recognize him, and asked, "Who are you?" Leng Xiao introduced with a cold voice next to him, "Meng Xiu, from Tuyuan Star, and next to him is Huajie, also from Tuyuan Star, heir to the master of Tuyuan Star. The two of them came to Muyuan Star a year ago when it opened for tourism." "Knows me, and Ye Yang." Meng Xiu quit and protested, "What does it mean to know each other? Ye Yang and I are good friends, close friends. Some time ago, I sent you my favorite mecha model, and you also sent it to me. I've passed the melons, fruits, and pills that are the specialties of my Muyuan planet. Just this relationship of sending valuables to each other, the intimacy value must be at the level of 90 best friends." He turned his eyes to look at Bai Jianchun and said sincerely, "So, classmate Bai, for the sake of the fact that we all have the same friends, you have to help me in the simulated battle later. I don't want the final victory, but just want to win. Take me with you so that I won't be eliminated in the top 100, so as not to be too embarrassed." Leng Xiao, Bai Jianchun, Huajie. Quan Lang's expression was hard to describe. Who would have thought that this was the reason he spent so much time talking and talking so convincingly? Can you be more promising? For example, will you be eliminated after finishing in the top 200? I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luziy. Chapter 438. Quiet, quiet, Teacher Su is here. The students at the door gave an early warning, and the noisy classroom immediately became silent. Every student sat upright with his hands on the table, and no one had his legs crossed. The correct sitting posture was the same as the teacher taught by Xin Wang Education when he first entered elementary school. Su Q's black trench coat couldn't hide his strong figure and strong muscle lines. When he walked in from the door wearing military boots, a cold and awe-inspiring aura swept over him in an instant. His sharp eagle eyes swept over, the students immediately held their breath and looked in awe. Walking to the classroom podium, he faced the students head-on. At the same time, the holographic projection started, and the lifelike Suke also stood there on the podiums of the two classrooms next door and next door. Suke narrowed his cold eyes, and his cold and solemn voice echoed through the three classrooms, "I will be in charge of the Battlefield Application Strategy class from now on. All students from the Command Department and Mecha Combat Department will attend class together like today. What we respect is that true knowledge comes from practice. All strategies are useless only when they are applied on the battlefield. Today, we will have a simulated battle to get your basic knowledge before deciding on the following courses. Now, immediately select the Starnet cabin and board the simulated battle platform. They will be divided into 5 camps according to grade. In 5 minutes, I hope all students will go to the predetermined camps and start preparing for the battle. Is teacher?" The students all looked serious and did not dare to say anything. Even Meng Xiu's charming electric eyes, which were never idle, stopped their daily discharge and became serious. Bai Jianchun was sitting in the aisle seat. He stood up and jumped out almost instantly. Leng Xiao followed closely behind him, and together with Bai Jianchun, he selected 2-star network cabins nearby. Su Qiu's eyes swept over, first taking a look at Bai Jianchun, and then his eyes fell on Leng Xiao. Leng Xiao looked back with a pair of sharp cold eyes. Their eyes interacted with each other. Only for a moment, Leng Xiao withdrew his gaze and continued to lie down towards the starnet cabin. Su Qiu's sharp sword-like eyes flashed. He's quite keen and seems to be a good prospect. Quan Lang groaned from behind, muttering to himself that these two people were moving so fast. He was the fastest in the entire classroom, and then he hurriedly climbed out of his position and hurried to find the star network cabin. However, in just a short time, both sides of Bai Jianchun's star network cabin were already occupied. Quan Lang had to find the star network cabin 7 or 8 positions behind Bai Jianchun and the others, and then he hurriedly followed. Lie in it. She had also played some holographic games on the star network on Jupiter, so Bai Jianchun was no stranger to it. After lying down in the star network cabin, she closed her eyes skillfully, and the next second she was in a personal room. Passing by her during this year's renovation, the original pure white space was added with a lazy sofa, bed, and bookcase, making it look like an ordinary and warm small bedroom. However, she remembered that teacher Suke had arrived in 5 minutes, so she did not check the received messages as usual, but directly opened the simulated battlefield and entered the simulated battlefield. This is a military academy simulated battlefield platform. Only military students can enter after testing. The player is a new student. Please create a character for the new student. Bai Jianchun frowned as she looked at the character options of her original appearance that appeared in front of her. The appearance of this spiritually bound descendant belonged to her original appearance and did not show her appearance after taking the disguise pill. Because she was in a hurry, she randomly selected a character that looked like an ordinary person without thinking, named her Bai Jianchun, and then clicked to enter the battlefield. Please select a camp. Bai Jianchun, New Life. Once the camp is determined, it cannot be changed on the battlefield. Player Bai Jianchun, please be prepared now. You have 3 seconds to confirm whether you want to change it. Bai Jianchun, no change. Player Bai Jianchun has entered the new camp and is now starting to teleport. I saw a circle of white light under Bai Jianchun's feet, and the next second she was transported to a vast forest full of green. The fresh air around her made her feel immersive. At this time, one of her eyes was blood red, and it was redder than a human's. The tall rabbit jumped towards her with its rabbit legs, and its blood-red rabbit eyes were full of murderous intent. Bai Jianchun narrowed her eyes, jumped up, and kicked over. The big rabbit was kicked 3 meters away by her and hit the tree behind. Some kind of fruit grew on the tree. 3 fruits fell down and hit the rabbit's head in a row, making the head dizzy and vicious. The big rabbit has returned to the west. The points on her panel also increased by 0.5 points. Bai Jianchun? Isn't it a camp battle? How can I get extra points by hitting a rabbit? Little sister is awesome. You can kill a rabbit with your bare hands. That's amazing. Bai Jianchun turned around and saw a red basic mecha standing not far away, waving its arms and applauding her. She couldn't see the expressions of the people in the mecha warehouse, but hearing his voice was quite cheerful. Before Bai Jianchun could say hello, he felt a turbulence on the ground, as if something big was coming this way. The people in the mecha immediately became anxious, and their tone also became urgent. Little sister, hurry up, get in quickly mecha, let's run quickly and gather with other students first. I checked the forum website of the first military academy. There are so many ferocious beasts in the simulated battlefield, more than in the examination field, and they are usually in groups. Some freshmen even clicked the memorizer and were sent away as soon as they logged in. Bai Jianchun did not doubt that he was there, so he released the basic mecha equipped with the system, jumped into the mecha cabin,
and ran away with the mecha. The mecha next to him was stunned for a moment. The speed of getting on the mecha was so fast. He must have met some mecha boss at the beginning, right? Bai Qianchun looked at the Black Wolf army chasing after him, frowned, and reminded, "Run." Oh, the mecha behind him quickly came to his senses. He glanced at the pack of no less than 50 black wolves behind him. They were huge. The leader of the Wolf King was as tall as his mecha. He was immediately shocked. The hair on my head stood up. Damn it, the black wolves are among the top battlefield killers on the forest battlefield. Many masters have died under their claws. This is not the most terrifying thing. The most terrifying thing is that these black wolves are ferocious beasts that live in groups. Kill them. One group comes after another, killing another group, and then another, endlessly. It is definitely one of the most dangerous beasts that should not be provoked in the forest battlefield map. He was in bad luck. Zhao Xuangling, who didn't want to kill at the beginning, directly increased his speed to the top and ran very fast. While running, he kept chattering on the nearby channel, "Miss, run faster. These black wolves are not easy to mess with. Although the points for killing them are high, they can't kill them all. The key is they still hold grudges, and they come in groups one after another. It's hard for us to fight with just 2 hands and 4 claws. It won't be too late to kill them again after we find other students and join the team." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 439. Bai Qianchun was quite speechless at the constant whispering in her ears, thinking to herself, "You don't need to talk about it." I simply regarded this noisy and unstoppable chatter as a break on the road, and while humming in response, I opened the game instructions to learn about the situation of this simulated battlefield. The simulated battlefield is also called the exclusive battlefield for military cadets. It is a place where all military academies in the Huayao Empire can go online to test the combat proficiency of military students. It is also a good place to earn points by brushing points. There are many simulated battlefield scenes, including dozens of different scenes such as interstellar space, wild deserts, wild forests, dark swamps, etc. Each time the camp battle is started, the scene is random. And this time they randomly arrived at the wild forest battlefield. There are 2 sources of points in the simulated battlefield. First, points are awarded according to the difficulty of various monsters in the scene. The bottom monsters each get 0.1 points. The middle level monsters, such as the big rabbit before, belong to the middle level. For each mob you kill, you will get 0.5 points. Looking at the black wolves chasing them, the ordinary wolves will get 1 point each, and the Black Wolf King will get 3 points each. Second, for the head of the enemy camp, points will be added according to the rank of the head in this field. For example, if the opponent is just an ordinary soldier, you will get 0.5 points for killing him. If the opponent is a second lieutenant, you will get 1 point for killing him, and 2 for the lieutenant. 4 points, a captain gets 3 points, and so on for majors, lieutenant colonels, senior colonels, major generals, lieutenant generals, and admirals. 1 point is added to each level higher. The camp battle is not won until the opponent's coach is killed or the opponent's camp flag is removed. After winning, the points of each member of the winning camp will be increased by 50%, while the points of all members of the losing camp will be cleared. Of course, these points earned in camp battles cannot be directly converted into general points used in military schools. Instead, they must be converted into general points at a ratio of 100:1. As for how one's own camp can climb up to the position of coach or gain command rights, one has to rely on killing monsters and killing heads of the enemy's camp to gain points, and the other has to rely on the recommendation of others to gain the right to temporarily command on behalf of the coach. In other words, if Bai Jianchun wants to command everyone in his own camp to fight against the enemy camp, he must first rely on his ability to gain 100 points and automatically be promoted to become the coach, or he must get 90% of his own camp's points. The above people agreed and recommended him to become the temporary commander, who would temporarily act as the commander and exercise the rights of arranging troops and commanding soldiers. After Bai Jianchun read all the rules, he knew that it was their freshman who suffered the loss. The old students had already known who had the ability to be a coach after countless battles. They could recommend the coach when they first entered the field, and the coach would command them. Mobilize and become well-trained soldiers. Whether you are collecting points and starting to attack the enemy camp, you will have an absolute advantage in time and quantity. As for the freshmen, they haven't gotten along at all. All the classmates haven't fully recognized each other yet. Who can be convinced and who can take the lead? However, things are not without a turn. If this was just two camps, then their freshman side would definitely lose, but it is not the case now. Now all 5 grades are participating, and it is a 5-party camp. In their opinion, their freshman camp is very good. The easily destroyed loose sand would have a chance to survive. According to inertial thinking, they must first beware of powerful enemies instead of taking a plate of loose sand first. This is also true. As Bai Jianchun expected, the sophomore, junior, senior and 5th camp quickly elected the most suitable coach based on their experience soon after entering the camp. Crouching tiger, hidden dragon, or a mountain with 2 tigers, 3 tigers and 4 tigers also quickly choose an interim coach according to the method they have used, and then immediately recommend him to the post, and the interim coach takes office immediately. 2nd-year coach Hua Jie, 3rd-year coach Li Kang, 4th-year coach Ao Miaoqing, and 5th-year coach Jing Zhuoxing were all confirmed within 5 minutes at the latest. As a result, the 4 camps quickly began deployment under the command of the coach. Only the freshman camp was still running away in a hurry. They didn't know what to do. It was a good description to say they were scattered sand. Suke sat in the classroom, looking at the god's perspective on the projection, checking the deployment of the 5 camps, and nodded with satisfaction to the sophomores, juniors, seniors, and 5th years who quickly organized to recommend the coach. Bunnies know the difference between priorities. As for the new camp, his brows raised in displeasure, it was so messy. In a simulated battlefield, Bai Jianchun and Zhao Shuangling were chased by a pack of black wolves and ran all the way. They also met many brothers and sisters who followed them to the end of the world. They followed and formed a small team with a large number of people. It was initially estimated that there were 30 people. Bai Jianchun, the leader, suddenly braked hard, and the teammates following him also braked hard. Fortunately, although they were freshmen, each of them was capable of driving mechas well, and no series of collisions occurred. The next second, noisy sounds came from the nearby channel. "What's going on? What's going on? Why did the one in front suddenly stop? Good guy, my running movements were so big that I almost knocked off the mecha Tianling cap of the old man in front. Damn it, why didn't you run away? The black wolves behind us caught up with us. They were so fierce that our heads were almost bitten off by them." Zhao Shuangling also chirped anxiously, "Yes, little sister, why don't you run away? Hurry up, there's a traffic jam behind, and the black wolves are catching up." Bai Jianchun, "I'm not running away. I just think it's time to fight back." Huh. The nearby channel was silent for an instant, and then started buzzing again after 3 seconds of silence. It seems to be roaring. The enemy's wolves are outnumbered, and ours is also outnumbered. Hurry up, count how many of us there are first, tell us the number, I'll tell you first, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bai Qianchun's mouth twitched and she reported 30. "It's 30, Is there anyone who hasn't reported? I'll count 3 times. If you don't report after 3 times, you will be considered dead. 3, 2, 1. No, no, we now have a team of 30 people, ready to fight back. Oh, suddenly the team's high morale voice sounded, and then they turned around and sharpened their knives to the black wolves. The few at the end who had been overtaken by the black wolves breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, the report is over. Hurry up, brothers, come and help me. This wolf's fangs are sharp and it will kill my mecha quickly. My arms were bitten off. Hey, if I stood still, the wolf really thought I was being punched. It's time to let them know how powerful Grandpa is. Hee hee. Little brother, big brother is here. Look at me, the black tiger is tearing out my heart. I'll come, look at me looking for a monkey to steal peaches. My move is called a bold move, sending the wolf into the sky. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 440. A group of freshmen were having a great time in a nearby channel. Each mecha looked majestic, and they were very handsome with their swords and guns. They shouted slogans like tigers, and they were as fierce as tigers. The result was, a score of 250. By Jian Chun. Are you sure you are serious about hunting wolves and not doing it for fun? Bai Jian Chun, who had given up hope in this group of funny bastards, decided to take matters into her own hands and become self-reliant. She has done a lot of actual mecha combat on the Star Network this year, and was led by Fen Yuyu to fight with several mecha masters on the Phoenix battleship. In terms of her skill in piloting mechas, she stretched out her hand and pulled out the basics. Energy sword equipped on the rack. Although her ancient martial arts technique corresponds to the flying needle, she is not bad with the sword either. Experts will know if there is one when they take action, and they will see a long sword that is shiny and eye-catching flying in the air. 3 of them flew towards the wolf's head one after another. After blood sprayed everywhere, the flying sword was like a boomerang, flying back. She sliced off 3 more heads like carrots, and finally returned to the hands of the red mecha with flashes of silver and blood. The comrades around him were stunned. Damn it, where did this fierce guy come from? Before they could press back the eyeballs that had fallen out of their sockets, the red mecha moved again, and its seemingly bulky mecha flew towards the wolves in one stride, with a graceful appearance. Ruo Yalong's strong and vigorous posture killed 7 in and 7 out among the wolves. When they blinked again, the wolf was finished killing and the corpses were refreshed and disappeared. 29 people. Mom, come and see the boss. I didn't expect that we would have such a powerful boss hidden in our team. Ha ha ha, with the big boss here, we no longer have to worry about being chased by wolves. Yeah, you crow's mouth, the black wolves are here again, one on the left, one on the right, and there's another group behind. Hiss, they must be around 50, right? Brothers, roll up your sleeves and do it. We can't die as long as the boss is here. Come on. It's true, the boss fights with 1 against 100, go ahead dash. As a result, the morale of the 29 mechas became higher, the slogans shouted louder, and their performance was improved compared to the 205. Bai Jian Chun clicked his tongue. Although their record was not good, they were cheerful and optimistic. From a certain aspect, they were still excellent. But it's okay, not grabbing monsters with her is just right for her to gain points. From the perspective of these silly minds, it is quite unreliable to rely on others to win this camp war. The command of the coach still rests with her. Her hand was more reliable, at least she was willing to lose, but before the last moment, she still wanted to try her best to try the possibility of winning. As a result, she swung the bright silver sword in her hand harder, and as the wolves around her fell down and turned into points, the fools also felt the taste. Does the boss want to become the head coach by getting points? Hey, this is a good idea, but I don't know who the big man is. It seems that there are many celebrities in our freshman martial arts exam, Shui Weiqian, Shui Wei, the two Shui brothers, and Shen Junhao. Yes, well, the most powerful one is Mr. Bai, who is number 1 in the martial arts exam. It's just my bad luck that I'm not on the same battlefield as Mr. Bai, otherwise I could hug the big guy like Sun Xinyu did. Yes, I watched the live replay during the 3 days I rested. Being a member of Big Brother Bai is the happiest. Anyone who works hard and has a good attitude can get points equally. Big Brother Bai is also very generous. So while talking, the group of idiots changed the subject and began to discuss things during the martial arts exam. Bai Qianshun, who was silent on the side, opened the points list speechlessly. She currently has 67 points in her own camp, ranking 8th. There are also Shui Weiqian, Shui Wei, Mu Tao, Li Jiadan, Zig, Leng Xiao and Di Yan. Bai Qianshun raised his eyebrows. It seemed that they had already prepared and were now rushing to gain points. She has not forgotten the rule. Whoever reaches 100 points first will be automatically promoted to the head coach and will have all the command rights in the camp. If you want to perform well in camp battles and be remembered by teacher Suke, then becoming the head coach is undoubtedly a shortcut. Time waits for no one. After occupying the spot for 3 seconds, he still didn't see the black wolves hiding in the woods not far away. Bai Qianshun used his mecha arm to hold a sword flower. If the mountain is not mine, I will be the mountain. She directly picked up the sword and rushed towards the wolves in the woods. The boss is running away, hurry up, brothers, follow him quickly, don't lose him. Yes, the boss is here to increase points. If you miss this opportunity, this village will not have this store. A group of fools decided to follow the boss to the death after witnessing his heroism in killing wolves. They followed Bai Qianshun and broke into the wolf pack. The snow-white sword blade flew in the blood, and soon there were countless separated wolf bodies in the forest. The 29 boys behind them silently picked up the missing ones while looking at the ranking list. It's okay. Only the top 10 are soaring in the rankings during this period, and the only girl in the top 10 is Boss Bai, so the person we are following is Boss Bai. Okay, we have also experienced the feeling of being led away by Big Brother Bai. Hee, brothers, don't fight. Let the wolf be given to Big Brother Bai. After Big Brother Bai accumulates enough points and becomes the head coach, the rest of us will. You can also follow the chickens and dogs to ascend to heaven. What, Mr. Bai, do you still need us to give in? The others suddenly fell silent, as if they really didn't need to give in. Waiting for them to injure the wolf and then letting Boss Bai come in to pick up points wasn't very practical, because they could kill him with one sword themselves, and their speed was still high. She was faster than them, and she didn't need their help at all for her to finish up the damage. She could just go down with her sword and send the wolf on its way, which was faster than finishing up the damage. A group of mechas looked at each other for a while and finally decided to look at the rankings. 89, 90, and 91 are coming soon. Mr. Bai has surpassed Leng Xiao, who is ranked 3rd. 95, 95, 97, the competition is so fierce. The opponent Shui Weiqian is also so fast, they are even. Guess who will be the first to reach 100 points and win the position of head coach? A group of people were nervous, excited and apprehensive, and the people on Shui Weiqian's side were also looking at the rankings nervously and anxiously. Quick, Brother Qian, I have one here, come and finish it. Shui Weiqian said thank you with a smile like a spring breeze, but his face hidden inside the mecha was frowning and his fists were clenched. He quickly finished the last hit and then rushed to the next last hit point to check the score list. But saw Bai Qianshun, who was originally ranked at the bottom, jump above him, and the original 97 points suddenly turned into 100. Ding dong for the freshman camp, Coach Bai Qianshun is in place. Shui Weiqian's expression froze. She actually killed a wolf king in the end and filled up the last 3 points. Did she deliberately leave the wolf king at the last moment to finish it? He gritted his teeth and looked deeply. He was careless. This woman was so scheming.